Next up, we have another person who's very near and dear to my heart, a member of the HLM product team. In fact, our fearless leader, Lila King, who's going to talk about some of the awesome stuff she has going on the side when we're not building awesome things at HLM.
Graydon is quite a timekeeper, so I'm gonna jump right into this. But first, I have to say a huge shout out and thank you to Graydon Gordian for putting this whole awesome event together. Yay! All right, but he promised me to give me the hook if I took more than 3 minutes. So we'll get right in. So I work in media. I look at screens like this all day long. I'm sure all of you do too. I look at the feed that is Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. And they're great, right? Like, these are really efficient tools for sending you updates on everything you love and care about all day long in reverse chronological order in tiny bite-sized chunks. And that's awesome. But in a lot of ways, these kinds of services, social platforms, are replacing the time that we used to spend doing things like reading books or going to the movies or watching television. And there's a whoa. and there's a big difference. Like, those more mature media, in a lot of ways, like the dominant platform is, the dominant mode is storytelling, right? On TV and cinema, you see like big, long narrative arcs flow over like many weeks sometimes, and months, and even years, and there's big characters and character development and nuance, and then you look at social media and wake up back one. And then you look at social media, and what you get is like a little snack. Every bit of information is sent to you in like a little tiny bit that's like not connected to the thing that came before it or the thing that came after it. So that's I think social media platforms can do a lot more with storytelling. I think there's like, and that's the origin of my passion project. I want to stretch the platform of Instagram or Facebook or Twitter to tell actual like big stories with characters and like a plot that develops over time. And so my passion project, which is like slightly insane, but the thing that I spend all of my time on when I'm not doing my day job, is I'm adapting Romeo and Juliet for Instagram. But fun, right? So I'm going with a story everybody knows, so that like I have time and space to tinker with the way you actually tell a story on another platform. When like, so imagine Romeo and Juliet in 2015 in Atlanta, but instead of, yeah, right, okay, so that's hard enough. But then imagine, instead of actors on a stage, you have characters who are accounts on Instagram. So you have like Romeo on Instagram, and Juliet, and Benvolio, and Mercutio, and yeah, and they some of them follow one another, and some of them like and comment on one another's stories, right? And the whole thing plays out over Instagram, which is going to be really fun. So here's where we are. If you flip to the next slide, like, so I have this like giant like wall of Post-it notes on my living room wall that tries to explain like the different scenes and who's involved in each scene. But here's the crazy part: the actors I've cast, everything's cast, including one guy who's here tonight, Tim Lampy. Woo! Who is our, if those of you who remember the play, Friar Lawrence is like the guy who basically gives drugs to both Romeo and Juliet and like gets them in all this crazy trouble. So Tim is like Larry, the drug dealer, in this adaptation of Romeo and Juliet. Thank you, Tim. But each of the actors will need to be actors in scenes, but also photographers of each scene as they see it through their eyes. So we're shooting this summer, just about to start. And then we'll pull it all together, and over about a month in the fall, Romeo and Juliet will play out over Instagram, which I hope I will learn a great deal about. We'll see. I should also send a shout out to my partner in crime, Tyson Wheatley, for helping me cast like all of the young Instagram stars of Atlanta in these awesome roles. But if you'd like to follow along with the adventure, just set up a tiny letter. Please do, RJIG, follow along and on the adventure as we go. And if you'd be willing to be cast as an extra in one of the scenes, we'll plea for that too. So wish us luck. Thank you.